Hi everyone, welcome to my crafty adventures. I'm Caroline for those of you who are new here. And if you're new here, just a reminder that I would love it if you left a little message down below so I know who you are and I can say thank you. This project I'm bringing you today is actually for a secret swap being hosted by Tamika Sending Smiles. So those participating in the swap are able to watch a video and learn something new that they can put in their swap. But as I was doing the video and putting together my little prototype here, I thought it would be much more fun to make this video public for everybody because it's really quite an adorable little project and you never know who wants to make it. What I'm making today is this little accordion folio, and it's so cute, and you're able to put all kinds of little trinkets and ephemera and little goodies in there. And I'm going to show you how to construct this, and maybe you'll want to make one of your own. So let's get started. The first things we're going to need for this project are 6 pieces of paper that we can cut down to 8 by 8, and also some pattern paper that we can use to make the cover. You can make the inside pockets any color you like if you want to do them in a rainbow. You can also use patterned paper. I just chose to use solid paper on the inside and a patterned paper on the outside. I'm just going to grab my cutter here, and the first thing I'm going to do is take one of my pages and I'm going to cut it down to 8 by 8. Open this up here. So we're just going to take a 1/2 inch off that side. And then we're going to turn it and cut the 11-inch side down to 8 as well. Okay, great. Now, what I'm going to do, instead of having you sit through all 6 pages, is to show you what we're going to do with this one page, and then you are going to do this process 6 times with all of your pieces of paper. So now that I've cut this down to an 8 by 8, I'm going to get my scoreboard. I don't know if you can hear the little staticky thing in the background. That's my husband watering some plants, and you can hear the water pipe in the garage, in the basement here where I am. So I apologize if that's distracting. Okay, we have our 8 by 8 paper, and now that it's on our scoreboard, we want to go ahead and score the first score mark at 2 1/8. And then I'm going to go ahead and score the second score mark at 5 1/2. And I know that seems like a little uneven, but you'll see why in just a minute. Okay, now that I have my score marks, I'm just going to fold those over and burnish them nicely. There we go. And you'll see it sort of makes this fold over, tri-fold. So I'm going to now go ahead and take my glue, and I'm just going to run a bead of glue down the first flap here, and then the inside of this second flap here. Whoops, that's a little bit. And then I'm going to fold it over and make sure that I press down really well on that. And I have this little tri-fold piece that's glued together. The next thing I'm going to do is just take my scoreboard back. Now that it's glued together, and I could have done this before I glued it together, I just choose to do it this way because sometimes the paper lines up funny once it's glued. And I'm going to score at 4 inches, which is half the width of this paper. I'm now going to take that 4-inch fold and fold it in half, and again just burnish this really well. So now I have these 2 pockets. I am going to go and do the next 5 pages, and I will be back in just a moment and we can catch up and move on. And we're back, and I have all 6 of my pockets folded in half. So I have the double pockets there. And the next thing I'm going to do is glue them to each other. So we're going to start just by adding a little glue in the center here. And I just add a little glue in the center because I like them to fan out a little bit on the ends and not be so tightly compacted together. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to make sure that that is nice and secure. And there you go, and I have the 2 packets secured together. I'm going to secure the front one to the back one. Actually, I probably should have done that first. So we're just going to go ahead and do that, and then I'll show you again. And we're going to secure the back one to the one that's adjacent to that as well. Okay, so I probably should have done it in a different order just to make it a little easier for you. Let me just go over that again. What I should have done is actually gone through each of my pockets and connected those first. I think that would be a lot easier. So go ahead and connect those pockets first. So I have the double pocket. The idea is you just want them all connected. Nice and tight. Oops, got a little glue on that one. And then this one. So I'm going to have all my individual pockets glued together. Then I can go and connect them all like I did the first one, like I had already started. So I have all my little individual pockets, and I'm just going to glue each and every one of them together. So let's go ahead and do that. And again, like I said, I just wanted to add a little glue down the center because I feel like if I glued it all the way up to the edges, it kind of loses that fan motion, that fanning out feel. So there we go. I'm going to keep going. Making sure those are as straight can be. And I'm absolutely convinced that the paper we get always isn't cut 100% straight, because I've done the exact same thing for these and they're not exactly even. And this happens in a lot of projects. So I'm convinced it's not always us. We're always trying to figure out what we did wrong or how they're not even. I'm convinced the paper doesn't always come cut squarely. So you can go ahead, if this is bothering you, and just trim your tops. And then I'm just going to add my last packet right here, my last pockets. Okay. Terrific. So now here's what we have, all our little pockets. The next thing we want to do is make our cover. And so I'm going to grab my pattern paper, and I am going to cut this to 3.5 by 11. Now, if you're using a pattern paper with a pattern that goes a specific way, just be conscious about which way you're cutting that. My pattern's going this way, so I'm going to cut this at 3.5 by 11. 3.5. Then I'm going to turn it, and we're going to cut it at 11 inches. If you're using 8.5 by 11, you're all set. I happen to be using 12 by 12, so I did have to cut that extra inch off. Okay, that's the piece for our cover. Now we're going to grab our scoreboard back. And with our scoreboard, we're going to put this on the 11-inch side, so the long way, And I am going to score at 4, 4.5, 8.5, and 9. There we go. So we have our scores. I'm done with my scoreboard for now. And I'm going to go ahead and fold these and burnish them, making sure they're nice and even. And there we have the cover for our folders. Now, before we do that, we want to do one more thing. We're going to set this aside with our folders, and we're going to grab a little strip of our scrap paper, or you can use the patterned paper, whichever you choose. I am going to cut a piece of scrap paper 1 inch long. And because I just hate measuring, I'm just going to eyeball this and cut it and make it easier for myself. I'm going to bend a piece right here around the front of this card. And then I'm going to bend the other piece around the front of this card. And again, we want it to be on the longer piece of the cover. And I'm going to adhere this little band here with some glue. And put that down. And I just do it this way because I find sometimes when I cut it, it doesn't always work out as well as it does when I just fidget with it. I'm going to glue some of this down on this side. And then I can go ahead and cut off my excess. We don't really care what this is going to look like inside because we're going to go ahead and adhere the rest of our album. So what I'm going to do next is take the inside where this band is, and I'm going to apply some glue down to one of my folios, and I'm going to add it to the front here. Just press that for a minute, make sure that it's nice and glued down. And then I'm also going to take the back of the folio here and adhere that to the back of the cover. It's like I'm running low on glue. There we go. And I want to make sure that this is sitting nicely in the cover. Okay, and now we're almost done, but what we're going to do is take this tab and just cut corners off. Then we have the ability to just slip it right under the tab here and have it closed off. Isn't this adorable? Cute little folio. Again, opened it up. I have my 12 pockets, and I can fill it with all kinds of goodies. Now, you can certainly make this whatever size you want and have as many pockets as you would like. You can even make it smaller and have 6 pockets. But I just thought this was a wonderful little size, and it gives you the opportunity just to be creative and add a lot of little extra goodies. Like I said, you can add ephemera, die cuts, little cutouts of some gems that you can stick in there. You can add sentiments. You can add buttons, anything that you want. Just put them on a little card, slide them right in, just like so. I'm taking a scrap piece of paper and I'm going to pop it in here, and there it's good to go. I can add my goodies to the pockets. So I hope you enjoyed this. Now, for those of you who are part of Tamika's challenge, I am going to encourage you to add at least 5 goodies to your folio here, your little accordion folio. Add 5 goodies, and that's all you need to do after creating this. Have a lot of fun with your swap. I wish you all the best. And until our next crafty adventure, everyone, be well.